mean like, come help me fight this thing.
So some other minor changes that have been going on. If you actually look at the weakness and resist stuff, icons that appear above the enemies, they should look a little different now. Made the shields look a little bit more like shields, and we got rid of the weird square one that nobody understood what it meant. So give a yell if those are more or less confusing.
Sounds good. Oh yeah, this guy has an elemental weakness. That's the guy I'm at, the race leader.
Yeah.
Oh, but they're vulnerable to ice, which I don't think anybody has.
Do you want to talk about the interesting change you made to the teleport shields?
Oh yeah, well, God, I bet you everybody's just already started using it. So before we had like a fixed time window where you're invulnerable after a teleport. The idea being that this gave you time to size up the situation, download all the units that are there, and not get killed while that happens. But now but it was kind of annoying because you couldn't fire, you couldn't get XP. You know, if you were safe and felt comfortable engaging, you were bored essentially. So now you can fire and it cancels your invulnerability. Solved.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
I thought that was a really tight solution to the problem. It basically gives, you know, when players want A and they want B, give them a choice.
Yep.
And in this case, it's pretty intuitive how to select that. You just press a button.
Yeah, I expect that we'll see, like, the possible downside is that we'll have some players who don't know what's going on, and they'll be like, every time I teleport, I just instantly take damage, because they're just, like, firing all the time.
That will definitely happen. It's learnable, though. It's a teachable moment. How to put it that? Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So the race leader also has a whole bunch of new changes to them, don't they?
Yeah. The racers move faster.
Ray updated this a little.
Yeah, I hope we get to the new phase so that we can actually see it.
I don't think we'll be able to, because like we kill all the minions, so therefore like he recovers.
It's really hard not to kill them because they chase you.
They're so tempting to kill. then it reshields.
Yeah, this is one of those bosses that's harder with more players.
Yep. Yeah. Which I'm not opposed to, quite honestly. It's like, oh, okay.
Like divorce mode in the multiplayer Mario games.
Yeah. I feel like the...
there it is.
Oh, there we go. And so previously...
Somebody killed the leader!
Oh, there's two of them. There's two of them.
Yeah, there was the guy who was like the traffic signal guy, and he got killed. That's hilarious.
Like apparently there's an exploit that someone was showing. I think Diaz was showing, where if you bash the racer, like right as he comes out, you can basically like kill him instantaneously.
Oh, because there's like a frame or two. I don't know if that's still possible.
So now there's meddlers who are dropping.
Yep.
So in addition to new bullet patterns, there's meddlers that drop.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Just explode. Boom. Nice. Nicely done. Ooh, I got a tier 7 armor. I feel special.
Some of those... Okay, so I'm going to give feedback. Some of those race leader bullets were small but did a lot of damage, so I'm grumpy about that. Maybe we should take a pass on that.
I haven't done a pass on boss bullets yet.
Yeah, those are a lot more manual.
Yeah, those are their own special flower.
Did you do the normal boss bullets?
Say again?
I was asking Jank if he'd taken a pass on the bullet updates.
I can't fully hear what you're saying, but I took a pass on the bullet defaults. So, like, what bullets show up at different tiers. The thing that you had done previously.
I see. Okay. Any flaws we still see are bugs, basically.
Yeah. There was a couple goals with that. So we had done this thing. We've run a bunch of experiments. So early on, when we were playtesting the game, we were like, okay, people are really having a huge problem distinguishing different enemies apart, and also the different groupings of enemies. Like, they had no idea that they were in the, changing from one area to the next area. So we did a whole bunch of experiments. We tried changing the graphics, obviously, of the units. We tried changing the terrain type. We put walls up that separated the various terrains. And then we also did this thing where we changed the bullets that each enemy used in different terrains. So if you go to one terrain, they use different bullets than another terrain. And there was actually different colors and such as well. As we've been watching people play, people seem to have a pretty good sense of where they are in the world. Not necessarily spatially, but they know, like, oh, this is the area with vampires, or this is the area with the Dr. Octos. And then they kind of key off of that. And because of that, it's like, okay, well, we solved the problem, but maybe having so many different bullet types is actually more on the confusing side now. Well, that's an opportunity for simplification. So now what I've done is I've basically done another pass to the bullets and tried to simplify them. Tried to simplify, like, if they do a certain amount of damage, they're bigger. They tend to have a single color, which is red. They tend to, not always, but they mostly have like a more of an outlined style, so you can look at them and they look very different than player bullets. So that's the theory, and then this is the first pass on putting that into practice.
Well, I liked it so far. Yeah, I really like this. Pat did a great job with these bullets that are kind of got this red center and a big chunky white outline. They just look so menacing. So, folks are asking in the chat about pilots, so let me actually explain that a little bit. Yeah, so when you die, you earn training points, and those training points contribute to earning pilot levels. So I'm going to show off the cool stat screen that Andrew made a few weeks ago. You can see I've got 24 out of 32 training points for the next pilot tier. And then when I level up my pilot, I get a skill. And these skills just like boost my armor or regen or gun damage by a little bit. So you earn a small amount of strength for dying. So that's
It is that they're relatively incremental, so you're not going to see a huge boost immediately, but they add up over time. So by the time you've been actually playing this game for a while, like your pilot is going to actually be have substantial advantages over a new pilot. It's not a huge power curve, but you should notice it. right now, I would say that almost all the skills that we've got for the pilots are placeholder. We'll probably have something similar going forward, but I think we have plans for a whole bunch of different skills as well if we get around to it.
So I'm looking at the new weakness icons here. They're looking great.
Yeah.
But it looks like Solaris Sun is lightning resistant, but all its minions are lightning weak.
Yes, it's an awkward one. It's a very fire-based enemy, and in the placement, it's kind of an electricity fire combo. So maybe I need to take another pass on that and make it just pure fire and just say screw it. It's themed as fire, so maybe it just has to be fire.
Yep. I mean, it's fine as long as it's intended. Oh wow, it's really in a hot area here. Is it meant to be in the high mountains?
This, yeah. This
Oh.
is a pretty major. This is a pretty big boss. I think this is tier 10, isn't it?
Oh. Wow. Didn't realize that we'd done that.
Oh no, maybe he's tier 8. This guy's probably tier 8. Yeah, this guy's tier 8. So he should be like something that, like, if you're a bunch of 20s, you want to attack him. If you're not a bunch of 20s. Someone asked the question of, like, is there going to be like an option to like hide player bullets? And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, just hide them entirely? That I don't know. I didn't think anybody would actually want that.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes
Is
sense.
it possible that we want to increase translucency even further?
It is possible. I think there's an argument to be made. Dank makes this argument all the time that even if you even see the tiniest bit of it, it's distracting. So why have it there?
Yeah. The other one is shrinking the size might be another option. Like some of these are like very, very large on the screen, very bright. So
Right.
I don't know, which is pretty. Oh, I had a question earlier. This might be interesting. Where are our servers located?
In the cloud. Yeah, there's some bad lag there. I think they're physically in Virginia.
Okay, so they're in Virginia. Because someone was playing from India and they were having big lag issues, and I'm like, I was personally impressed that the game was still working. But it's like, yeah, I think our servers are actually in the United States at the moment. So that would make sense. So if you're playing from another country, it's super cool that you can play. I'm actually super happy about that. But at the same time, when we actually roll this out, we'll actually have probably multiple servers around the world. Sort of as we get large populations of players in various geographic areas, we'll get servers in those areas.
Yeah, that's the plan. We'll have like a hemisphere, Western Hemisphere server and an Eastern Hemisphere server.
Goodness, there's some crazy bullets around here.
You know, I feel like it's working,
What's working?
the player bullets thing, because I feel like, oh, thank you, God. I feel like this fighting the Solaris, there's just so many freaking bullets, and I've been doing okay.
I just tune out all the player bullets. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I think the problem is you have to have a pretty refined eye to do that, and if they're more translucent, it just makes it easier, even if they're still distracting.
Yeah, and it gives you a fighting chance to just see things, because, you know, if a bunch of bullets stack up and they're not translucent, it's just white.
Right. I am liking the heavy outlines on the bullets, though. The heavy white outlines.
Yeah, that's so
On
good.
the bullets. It looks good, but it's also like, oh, I can actually tell what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
I can see them. Are colliders circles, rectangles, or capsules?
Capsules.
Capsules.
Depends on what you're talking about. The bullet colliders are capsules. The Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. What you talking about? I don't know if I like the new fire particle effect.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Death.
sorry.
Death.
Oh. Yeah, my frame rate is very low on this battle.
Yeah. Still got some of that client performance work to do.
Totally.
I'm gonna head back to the Nexus so I can give out some keys.
Oh, nice. Nicety nice.
This is the
That untiered that shoots those like crazy charge bursts, that is a noise problem.
yeah, it's kind of insane. It like whites out half the screen. Like, what just happened there?
Yeah, all the bullets overlap, so it's like doesn't matter that it's 40% opacity. Oh, nice. Wait, I only got 175 XP for that.
That's alright.
Oh, it's because I'm level 4, so I can only get half of my experience bar for that. Wait, I'm gonna keep this. T8 ring?
What is that mechanic, right?
I'm sorry?
What is that mechanic about when you're getting out here?
Oh, basically, to make... You have to earn your levels a bit more. If you... The max amount of XP you can get at from any given enemy is half of your current experience level. Remember, like, I remember you commented on this, Scott. Way back in the day, you could just like hang out near somebody killing a Solaris, and you would level from 1 to 13 or 14.
Yeah, just hang out. Okay, so now go hang out. I'll do 1.5.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess not everybody wanted to join us in this incredibly difficult temple here.
So, someone was saying on the chat, I play at 200 Shider, was saying I play at 200 ping, no problem. The game deals with high ping really well.
That's great. That's what I want to hear. It will deal poorly with variable ping. I will say that. So if your ping is not constant, it'll be like all over the place. Oh! All right. Well, that was fun. Well. Admin, I found bug. What server provider are we using? Oh yeah, it's Amazon. Why is everyone red, by the way? I think that's just a comment about Twitch. Whoa! Yeah, there's some serious lag happening here. Good thing that we're analyzing performance numbers and trying to figure out what causes it. So I haven't heard too much commentary about the floating rockheads. They still look good to me. They, you know, I guess that was not intended to be like a permanent thing, but
Yeah, I like the floating rocks. I've got mixed feelings about them. They work. They solve one problem. I still get confused when I play with them a little bit.
I do like how it unequivocally says this is in the air.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's good.
And the shadow is like really tight. keep on dropping my cloud. The other thing I was curious about feedback on is the shoot, what's it called? The blast, the poison blast. Have folks even started using that, or are they still using their legacy poison cloud?
I'm super curious about that as well. I've heard a couple side comments about it. I don't know if how many
Lame.
people are playing Hog right now. Lame. Oh, really? See, perfect. That's exactly what we want to hear.
The gun part. Like there's a poison gun. Okay. Okay, so maybe it's a balance issue. Maybe it doesn't do enough DPS.
Yeah. I mean, we know that poison is super OP in certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly on tier 10 dungeon enemies that are stationary.
Hmm. Yeah, one of the ideas that I saw floating around is just not make it poison elemental. Like have different elements for different clouds.
Yeah, yeah. I've been thinking about that as well. I've got a thing on my list to like either chat about it with you or work through that.
Yeah, because that makes total sense. I think what we decided to make it a poison cloud just because that is what we called it, and it was thematically consistent, right? Whoa.
We actually call it an acid cloud in the stuff, so it's not officially poison.
Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, you're right. Oh, wow. Wait, is that a vampire down here? Oh, wow, look at his bullets. Wow, that's much easier to see. Good change. I can't believe these high damage fangs were like small yellow things before.
Okay, are they bigger now? I haven't actually looked at the... I should pop on over to visit the lovely vampire. That's one of the problems when you make these big global changes. It's like you can't check out everything.
Right. No, keep it the fiction that you manually changed each of these units yourself.
Right. The labor. It was overwhelming.
I had one hand on the one computer and the other hand on another. Like that scene from Swordfish.
Was that actually? I never watched that film.
It's
missing anything?
No, not really. Sometimes these movies.
Had an arcade trailer or something.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that had this phenomenal trailer. But then, like, you see the movie and it doesn't really add anything.
Oh yeah, the vampire fangs are a lot better. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Those look like horrible death bullets, which is what they are. Goes to show the benefits of standards when making your art. Basically say bullets are standardized on speed and damage. So you should be able to look at a bullet and know kind of what it does. It's actually a non-linear scaling as well. Like the size of your bullets is actually like much larger, even if it does just a small amount. Even if it does like a little bit beyond the base damage.
Oh, really? Is it how many tiers of scaling are there? There used to be 3, I think.
There's three right now, but it essentially goes 1, 2, 4 in terms of scale. It's not exactly that; it's slightly different numbers, but so because when you have like when something is only 50% larger than another thing, like going from 1 to 2 is like it's double. It's like really easy to tell the difference. Going from 2 to 3 or 2 to 2.5, you're like, I can't really tell the difference.
Mhm.
If you go from 2 to 4, then it's 100% increase, and you're like, wow, that's a huge difference.
Mhm.
So people are like, I should really watch out for that. Okay, I'll give out another key here because that's my real purpose in life.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. I'm gonna hang out with the cool kids. Oh, another Solaris. Cool, maybe I can get leveled up half a level again here. Yes! Mission accomplished. Thanks, everybody else. Ooh, tier 10. Love that use of the quick chat. So I'm probably not going to head in there. If you guys want to go in there, I would not begrudge you that. But I don't see too many folks in there. Oh, it would be cool to see, God, that would be a nice feature to see how many people are actually in there already. There's nobody else on the server. Except for me and Scott, that's funny. They all went into that temple.
I dropped off for a minute to restart my computer because my frame rate was so bad. Now everyone is silent.
It's just a temporary lapse. I'm busy, doing key-giving duties.
Ooh, that's important.
It takes basically all my mental energy.
Yeah, hitting the shift button and then the letter over and over and over again.
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right. We are still streaming?
Yep.
We are still streaming.
Oh, good.
Excuse me. Wait, so restarting your computer made the frame rate better? What's up with that?
I don't know. It was pretty rough, though. I mean, everything on my computer was going really slowly, and I quit everything, and then still slow. Yeah. I mean, sometimes, presumably there could have been like a memory leak from anything, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Have you considered getting a completely new computer?
Have you considered setting your computer on fire?
Wow, that that Pharaoh is just a monster.
It really is. We need more fast enemies like that. I think that's been one of the discussions that has come out of this, because they're scary and they're fun. And you die a lot. It's all good stuff. All good stuff.
Yeah, maybe we could have some like that even in like at easier tiers, lower tiers, but just properly tiered.
What do you guys think about the idea that speed is kind of just like a difficulty increase in and of itself? Like, take the same unit, take the same everything other stat, you speed it up, and it's way harder.
Yeah, I think no question, right?
Mm-hmm. So
well, I mean, it depends. I guess it could be because it may also be harder to get hit by a faster enemy, depending on its like patterns.
I don't know.
You know, you could imagine that it slows down the encounter so that you're spending more of the time chasing it and not healing. I mean, that probably wouldn't happen in most cases, but
Enemies are ferociously accurate. So
Yeah,
maybe.
there's actually a weird balance. Like if you speed it up too much, then the enemies, like, you can't turn in time. So
Mhm.
there's some trickiness there.
The steam jet is a good example of this.
Yep. Steam jet actually used to be a lot more dangerous, and then we nerfed the heck out of it. Now it's kind of like a shallow version of itself. So.
Well, you're lucky to get like one bullet on it, so it's good that that bullet will kill it.
Yep.
Yeah, a good example of what Alex is talking about, like kind of a low-level enemy that does this thing. Ooh, fresh loot. Everybody's gonna be in that dungeon for a while.
Oh, that's where they are.
Lurking.
Well, I'm happy to say that the Fortress of Ra is still quite dangerous. I was worried we'd nerf that to oblivion, but the fire seems to work. It like does it's just like a fixed amount of damage essentially.
Oh, another thing that has changed in this build is all the new upgrades have new art.
Oh gosh, right. This is like one of my favorite art changes. They just look so good.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's a lot of art. There's a lot of upgrades. Like if you ever go, if people haven't gone to their stats page yet, you should open up options, go to your stats page, and check out all the different upgrades that you can get. And all those have art now, so which is kind of fun.
So all this here, yeah. And my plane, because I just died, has none of them.
Yeah. Brent added Meowza added a whole bunch of lovely icons there. Yeah, and of course the other big art change is the walls. So would love to hear feedback on the walls. Previously the walls overlapped some of the terrain elements slightly, and so the floating walls are an attempt to fix that. I'm curious how it affects people's play, how people think it works, all that sort of stuff.
Stats page is pretty good.
Where can I earn one of these upgrades? I don't think I'm going to get one from a Tower of Ra. Killing vampires?
Vampires,
Vampires work. Basically, all of the mountains and high mountains has upgrades littered throughout them. So if you spend like 10-15 minutes there, you should get something.
Huh. Alright, that's going to be a while.
Yeah, that is a while. They're not really intended to be something that you get at a rapid rate.
It's not like a Steam key.
Yeah, which I'm giving out like candy over here.
Stats page is really nice. Well done. Andrew did this, right?
Yeah.
It probably still needs some sexing up, like improving some of the headers at the top and stuff like that. Make it a little more impressive.
Rainbow text.
Oop. Thanks for the attempted heal there. I just aggroed like a million vampires here. Oop, thank you again. Trying to get an upgrade. I will kill you, vampire. Eventually. No! Didn't drop anything. That's to be expected. It's like a 5% chance, right?
Maybe it's 10%, something like that.
It's, yeah, pretty low.
You know, if we made the floating cat heads into sphinxes, they might be more natural floating objects.
Because
Sphinxes float.
because they're from another dimension.
Yeah, exactly.
You can store your grain in them? What's that?
Wait, is that what they did?
No.
So there's a question on the chat about how do you even get half the upgrades. I mean, that's actually one of the joys of the game that I'm hoping the community will slowly figure out. Basically, all the upgrades drop from very specific enemies or bosses or dungeons. And like when in a dungeon, like certain dungeon bosses have like a 100% chance of dropping one if you kill them. So it's a very reliable way to get the upgrades, but you have to be good enough to actually hunt them down, farm them, that type of thing. So I'm hoping that like as the community grows, we have a pretty, since it's alpha, it's a pretty small community at the moment, people will start to figure out, oh, this is where we need to get them. Oh, I want to beat this boss, so I should go over here and get these upgrades. Yeah, so that's the hope. We'll see how it works out. But there are very, very specific dungeons, bosses, and enemies that have each upgrade. And once you figure it out, you should be able to get them pretty reliably.
Oh, I thought this tier 7 dungeon would be my speed, but I am woefully underprepared. Maybe I can get some loot from just like the first 2 enemies. Oh no! Don't die! Your name is Die. You can't actually die. That would be illogical.
Logical.
Okay, I can't even kill these guys. I gotta leave.
What tier are you?
4. It was interesting. It was very obvious that I didn't have enough DPS to kill it at all. Like maybe I could have, if I had been able to like focus really hard on a guy for 5 minutes, I could have killed one of the smallest, weakest units. Because they had a regenerate, which is a good way to kind of be a DPS wall, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. If you can't get past the regen, it's not worth it.
What is this gun? I love this. Is that a wasp? You see? Man, this like it shoots like several clusters of 3 round bullets.
There is something awesome.
They're just so kind of like
nice.
leisurely.
Go ahead.
Hold on. What are you saying?
It's really nice to fight in a group of people not in the high mountains.
Oh. Whoa, bash your way to glory there. Yeah, I feel like the bash works best when it actually destroys the thing that you bashed.
Yeah, it feels really good.
I feel like my DPS is very low unless I use the bash. That doesn't make any sense.
What, you're level 11? Huh. What tier gear do you have?
Tier 3, I was having trouble picking out the lead researchers and the lead researchers.
Oh, yeah. So your main gun is a little underpowered.
Tier 3 in the lowlands should be okay.
Tier 3 should be fine. And you were taking out the back first and then destroying the front?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, part of the problem is you start. I think the problem is you start. Those are kind of big enemies that on top of them.
Oh, because you've got the shotgun.
Yeah.
Right.
I have the choice of whether I have shotgun or not.
Right.
Because I have the dash, that makes me automatic. Until I remembered. So initially I actually had shotgun, then I had dash. Well, I was building with my shotgun because that's all I got. And once I remembered I had dash, then it was easier to put out higher.
Sounds right to me. I'm pretty happy with that, how that worked out.
I don't know what a player with an old faithful will think about a shotgun. He doesn't really have that dash. I guess he has poison. That'll.
Yeah, every class is something OP.
Alex, will you yell at us if we try out a experimental gun on the server? Yes. Okay, never mind.
No, I was just doing the mental exercise in my head of what I would have to do to adjust for it.
All right, we can wait till we make it real.
I mean, or we can. I think we should be in the habit of switching to test servers during streams because it's fun to show that stuff off. And it's not too hard.
That's true.
Another thing that we can do, by the way, guys, is we could, yeah, all right. We could do something like create a dungeon that we can spawn that only admins can go in. And then we fly into that dungeon, and then I just, like, invalidate anything in that dungeon. But then it also invalidates your planes, so then you'd have to stop using those planes forever after. It's kind of a mess.
Okay, alright. All good.
Yeah, let's wait until it's a real thing. I feel like having a sweet intro is cool.
Alright. Alright, that was probably a tease to everybody, but I wasn't intending to tease.
Spoiler warning, we're working on cool shit all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I actually don't like it when game companies tease. Like,
No, yeah.
Like I much prefer to like talk about like, hey, look, here's this thing. It's in the game. Let's talk about that. Isn't that awesome? Because all that means is often all you're gaining by teasing is you're gaining like 2 weeks advance notice. And there's still a steady stream of cool stuff, even if you just like roll back the clock by 2 weeks.
Mm.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think in this case, yeah, I think in this case, like it's a little bit closer than that. So, whoa,
Yeah.
got a lightning defense upgrade. Oh, by the way, Dank, if you get the chance, could you name these? Because they still say like upgrade _ lightning defense.
Oh, yeah. Let me make a note of that.
Getting sniped here.
I thought some of them were named. I guess not all of them are named.
Yeah. Oh, that looks so nice. It's like this little shield. It's standing on its end, and it's got lightning around it. And, kind of hate to use it. Yeah. I mean, we just create so much content that needs to be named. It's like, hard to keep on top of.
It's fun though. Like I've been starting to add more lore into the game by the various stuff that you come across.
Mm-hmm.
So you can hear about the owls. You can hear about there's a whole bunch of interesting things in there. I'm trying to avoid some of the more like generic stuff. Like we had things like, okay, this repairs things. Okay, well that's cool, but that's not lore so much.
Mhm.
So a lot of our initial text was less lore heavy.
We had no idea what our lore was.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So we're as we go, I think it's gonna have more and more lore, like talking about like specific people, specific places, specific groups, what they're doing, why they're doing it.
This gun! This gun! Oh my god, yeah, I want to see the lore for this gun that Ponju Sauce is using here, which is just like shooting snowflakes. And
Sounds
what
like an
is
owl
that?
gun to me.
Yeah, right? Here, I'll hang out by this camp so that folks can teleport to me, even though I would get my ass beat if I went in there.
Somehow picked up this incredibly crappy. I mean, it's actually got decent damage output, but it's a crappy tier 8 wasp, and I haven't been able to get rid of it in ages.
Oh. You hate, you hate that wasp, huh?
I hate it, but it's the best thing I've got.
Okay, I'm here in the re-education camp accidentally, and I'm gonna get my ass beat here.
You hate it when that happens.
It's actually kind of fun to solo it, because, oh no, I'm already almost dead. Because I could kind of like carefully avoid all the sludge. That was great. Wait, I'm gonna drop off a lot of my loot. See, I feel like this is an instinct that I need to develop when I have like some items that are worthwhile. I need to go and drop them off.
What is that thing that Ponzu sauce has? That's weird. That's a bizarre weapon. There's a crypt that opened up if you come out.
Come out wherever you are. Hey there. Oh, looks like the crypt. I can't find the crypt. Oh well. Guess I'll hang out here with Dremin.
Ooh. Laser eye killed me about a quarter second at level 11. That was. Ooh.
Oh, that's painful. There's a question from the chat. Have you guys thought of adding an XP gained number on stats or something after the increase at level 20 by getting XP? So like, so how would that work? Like, after you reach level 20, we just show you how many experience points you've gained.
Yeah, that makes sense actually, because it does count towards your pilot training after you've reached level 20.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing something where we might like actually switch over to showing progress towards your next pilot level.
Yeah.
That might be another way of switching that up. I think someone in the community suggested that a while back. And we kind of already have that in the stats screen, so it would make a lot of sense.
I mean, I guess the question sort of is, do you want to show how much this plane counts towards that, or not?
Yeah, that'd be one way of doing it. Yeah. I don't know if that gives away too much, but gives away the anticipation. Probably not too much.
Yeah, it would definitely create the situation where somebody's like, alright, I've earned my next pilot level, time to die.
Right. Which I don't actually mind, you know.
It's hard to imagine them doing that, actually.
Really? I mean, I don't know, I mean, it feels like one of the few ways you have to, not one of the few ways you have to advance, but like, it feels like if you've done literally everything else, you would do that. But I guess it's really hard to do literally everything else.
Yeah, and also the planes are so valuable at that point.
Right.
Gold.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I've done it in realms sometimes where I get level 20. Okay, time to die so I can unlock class.
Oh.
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to want to spend $5 on another class slot?
ZXCV says the bullet changes are great. Someone else asks if, like, how you play the game, and someone posted on the chat. There's a thread on the forums that talks about, like, sort of a rough tutorial for the game. So if you just if no one's going to the forums, it's community.steambirds.com, and we read them religiously. So if you have feedback on the game, feel free to post up big posts. Like, a lot of the bullet changes that are happening right now came from a post that was who was it that did that? It was one of our core players who put that up there. And they're like, look, here's some problems, here's some screenshots, here's how I think things should work, and we're like, that's amazing, you're right. And we've been making some tweaks. We're not going to get everything all at once, we're not going to be able to do everything, but, like, those are the type of posts that, like, make this game go from kind of like, hey, there's some guys making a game, to, like, this is a really polished thing. So definitely, like, visit the community, you know, read the tutorial, and post your comments. Yeah, it's good stuff. Oh, the other thing that I found that really useful for people who are just starting to learn to play the game is look at the options panel. Like, there you'll be able to rebind all your keys. And by rebinding your keys, you'll realize, hey, oh my god, I didn't realize that I could actually press C and teleport directly to other players. So the options is a really good place to look at first. I hear rumor, this is like, I don't know if this is giving too much away. At some point in the far distant future, we will have a tutorial.
I don't know, man. That's rough. I don't know if you can promise that.
We can promise. Don't promise a tutorial.
We're gonna have a game that has. We give you a strong, firm handshake and a smile, and ship you out.
Ponzu sauce, Pondu. I always want to call him Ponzu. For healing class, do you think adding sparkly look to planes dying or sound of a plane crashing as a cue for healer planes to save them? So there's a couple cues right now that are in there, and maybe they might not be strong enough. Like, if you see someone that has black smoke coming out of their trail, then that they should probably be healed. That means they're getting close to death. And if you see someone who's spinning, then they are in the process of dying, and you've got a shortened window where if you heal them at that moment, you can save them. So there's a couple cues in there. They may not be strong enough, but look for those and see if those help.
I mean, it does play the same, like, sound effects that it plays when your own plane dies. So you should be able to hear other players. I've definitely been saved by other players who catch me as I die. You have to be really good, though.
Yeah, it would be pretty funny if we open a trade interface with the medic at that exact point, and then they can request upgrades or cash from you.
It's like a hostage situation.
The mercenary medic.
You could ask for protection. You're like, give me I'll hold on to your tier 8 armor if when we go through this dungeon, and then give it back at the end.
This is great. Anything else we have to talk about? There was actually more here than I was expecting to talk about, which is kind of great.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that landed at the last minute, wasn't there?
I feel like we're not even talking about, like, the main stuff that Andrew worked on, you know? It's like, oh,
Yeah, I guess it's coming next week.
Cool.
Coffees for closers. Yeah, so I guess I'll do the content stream today. I'll kick you guys off and I'll work on look at the integrating some nicer graphics for the quick chat.
I will give out one last key here.
What?
I know.
How many have you given out so far?
I gave out like I actually have it recorded. 6 today. I've given out 6 today.
That's a lot. Hey Alex, before I forget, do you have a chance to take a look at, or David, do you have a chance to take a look at relative damage done by the different cloud types? Oh, I guess we don't have that until today.
Do you mean like a blast versus regular poison clouds?
That's right.
Oh, that, I mean, if we restrict to killed enemies, yeah, that's non-trivial but doable, I think. Yeah.
I mean, should we wait for the better metrics so that we can do a better job,
I
or?
think we may as well, since they're kind of, basically they're in now.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So we'll have to do for that next week, if it's not urgent.
No, I just wanted to not forget.
Okay, cool. I'll make a note about it.
Thank you.